Let's see. We'll see if this works while we look at some Malawi gar here. What's up, Ahmed? Hey, if you act fast, I might be able to hook you up. I think I have an extra one of these guys laying around. Just like that. Alright, well, we got 5 people. We can start here. Obviously, Mike's gone today. He's with his parents, I believe. But I'll take you through some fish real quick. Just show you some of the new stuff we've been working with. Don't hate my film work. I couldn't find Mike's fancy camera holder, so I'm just holding it with my hands here. Might be a little bit jerky, but let me know. Let's see, here's some nice fish here. Let me get the ladder so I can stand up higher. So, thanks, Ahmed. So these guys, a lot of you might be familiar with red cheek trophiops. These are their cousin, the Chitimba Gold, and as you can see, their females are bright yellow. I think there's one male in here that's kind of half colored up, but when they really get fully colored, they look almost like red cheeks. But instead of a red shoulder, they have blue bodies with the red and yellow going kind of down their backs instead. So that's a nice little mbuna. I highly recommend them. They don't seem to be overly aggressive, and they definitely don't get huge, so that's always a plus in my book. Here's another mbuna tank. We've got a bunch of yellow labs, and then some of these zebra labs from Lundo Island. That's a subdominant male, I believe. There's a pair. That's a subdominant male as well, though. You can kind of see the range of color on these guys. When they're really happy, they look like this. Just a beautiful fish. White, almost pearly blue color with the black stripes. And then obviously there's some other males hiding out around the tank. And then for the fans of those goofy-faced Labiatropheus, here are the red streak mandas. They're pretty tough to get a photo of because they don't like to hold still, but they look really nice. They've got tons of orange down their back, really white bellies, and a white dorsal fin. So really nice color composition on these guys. And I actually like them a lot. Wendy, I'm glad you got your black rams. Hopefully we were able to get a pair for you. I know I talked to Mike Bernard and he said he would do his best, so hopefully you get some breeding action soon. Here's some red top Labiatropheus. You see obviously the females here, the kind of like OB pattern, yellow body, and then males are either blue or white with that nice red top. And I think the variability among these is really what makes them special. What else we got? We got some midnight peacocks in. Some really nice males showing off today. There are a few Jallow Reef males in here as well, like this guy. And a nice John Stone-Eye male back there too. He's fully colored up and has been for about a week now. But he won't hold still for photos. I wanted to show this guy off. This is a eye biter, the Compressiceps. He's almost fully colored up. He's still only about 6.5 inches, but you can see his body's fully blue now. He's getting the black in the fins. He's showing off for his mate over here. And he's running the tank for sure, especially with these big redfin borealii swimming around next to him. Everyone likes yellow blaze, I know that, so here we'll just do a quick showing off of them if my camera will focus. Sorry. Lots of nice color. You can see them starting to darken up. He's only about 3.5 inches, so you can get an idea for how much color these guys have when they'll be bigger. Glass is a little dirty on this tank, but we can still show off some of our Chindongo flavus. Look at him, he's awesome. And that's a white blaze Gelidochromis. We've got, I think, trios up for sale right now on our website. They do really well in more peaceful peacock and hap tanks for sure. We got some Electra, some deep water haps. Another mostly peaceful fish here. The males are pretty nicely colored up right now. And I really like this fish because the females actually have some color too. They do have that kind of pearly shine on them when they hit the light right. So that's always nice for an African fish. There, you can see it. Hopefully. We got two Aratus that have colored up in our tanks. They seem happy. They keep digging pits, which is always fun to see. Here's some smaller ones of those Chitimba gold trophy ops I showed at the start. There's a young male just starting to color up. You can see him getting some blue on his body. And the females are just a brilliant yellow color. This guy's a Lethrinops albus. Definitely a peaceful hap. You probably won't see their best coloration unless you keep it just with some females in a 40-gallon. But man, Lethrinops are probably one of the prettiest hap out there, so I highly recommend keeping them with just a simple breeding project so you can experience their full coloration rather than keeping an all-male tank. That's a nice Benga showing off right there. Got some Tropheus duboisi, everyone's favorite herbivorous Tanganyikan fish. There's a young Gelidochromis Marlieri. And I think she might be holding, based on how she's acting. I'm sure y'all can guess what these are. Albino Turkish peacocks. We just listed some more pairs of some bigger ones we got. They're up on the website right now. I know one pair already sold, so definitely get them while you can. But I can tell you, they're fully colored and look amazing. Wendy, the Nanochroma Splendens, I'm glad you brought them up because those are one of my favorite dwarf cichlids for sure. They like any small cave with small openings, so flower pots that you turn upside down, you could drill a hole in them if you want to. You could even cut them in half and turn them over to kind of just make little tiny half caves over the sand. Those will work just fine. And you'll see them start to dig up the sand underneath right before they spawn. 75 gallon is definitely plenty of space for them. They don't need that much, but if you've got other fish, then they'll appreciate being able to take some space to themselves. As we look at some fluorescent peacocks here and some really nice Taiwan reefs. But yeah, I highly recommend Nanochroma Splendens for anyone listening. We've got pairs up for sale right now. They are not as colorful as the photo yet because they're just turning into male and females, but once they hit that color, they really do look like the photos and videos you see on the internet. So great little dwarf cichlid. Usually gets about 2.5 inches. Those are some Eureka and a nice Missourius there. This is another Lethrinops albus, one of the 4 to 5 inch males we've got up right now. You can kind of see how iridescent he is. Yeah, Wendy, I mean, honestly, a 10-gallon tank's probably fine for them. I always recommend keeping some Tetras in there as dither fish just to break up the aggression in case the male or female tries to attack the other. But I think we've got one pair in a 40-gallon, one pair in a 20-gallon, and one pair in a 10-gallon, and they're all producing fry every week. So they're very prolific once they get going, and you know, we're just using regular water. Nothing too special on them, so I highly recommend them. These fish are the Gelidochromis Miloto Gold Crest, and I can tell you their color does not transfer to film that great, but they are awesome. They get real dark black when they're really happy. They do have a golden white crest on them that goes all the way down to their nose. There's 1 or 2 females in here that are holding, but you can see there's at least 7 or 8 nice looking males that are just ready for a new home. So highly recommend this guy. The long body makes them a little bit unique, different from other Gelidochromis, so they are somewhat peaceful and a little bit skittish at first, but they've been in this tank for about a week and a half now, and they look happy and healthy, and they're spawning, so highly recommend them. Everything I'm showing right now should be for sale, and if it's not, it's probably either already sold or just a matter of we need to restock it. So feel free to shoot us an email if you don't see something that I've shown here. Albino dolphin, no, we have a breeding colony, but they haven't started breeding yet to my knowledge, so we're still working on them. Hopefully sometime next year we'll be able to part with either some males or have some juveniles ready to go. That's a nice swallowtail peacock male in with some albino red top zebra imbunas. I like swallowtails, they're very, very colorful. This tank's a little murky because it came in from the pond, but these are the Malawi trout cichlids, Ciprochromis caeruleus. They are a very large hap, but they're not very mean, which is nice. So they do need something like 100 gallons or so to really be happy and spread their fins, but they're not going to go around terrorizing like some of the other predator haps might. And like I said, we brought these in from the pond. We're throwing them back out in the pond. We just wanted to see what kind of returns we'd been getting, and I figured I'd throw them in here to get some pictures and videos before we do that. So they are not for sale, unfortunately, but there were some signs of babies, so hopefully in a few months we'll be able to get some for sale. Cardinal tetras, one of my favorite blackwater fish. Yeah, we've got albino red empress. They should be up on the website. They're real small right now. That's all we've got. But they are breeding and producing fry, so you can check them out there. Here's some brown-tail pencilfish. These guys are awesome. Really tiny mouths. These are great for tanks with rams and apistos and those Nanochromis splendens, because their mouths are too small to eat the fry, so you can really put them in there and not worry about losing any fry. Pink spot Choco Tetra, also called the Kyburz Tetra. They are somewhat similar to Emperor Tetras, but they're a little bit bigger, and they have these nice maroon spots on them that it's kind of hard to see. My camera won't focus, but the picture on our website does show them pretty well, and you can check out Google Images for more pictures as well. They're a nice looking fish. They do get about 3-4 inches, so they're great for severums, angelfish, larger South American cichlids. Albino dolphins are not for sale, no, they're part of our breeding colony. We do have some red empress, regular red empress here, but I believe he is spoken for. I'll have to check the vat later, but I'm pretty sure all we have left is this guy here. And I think he's shipping on Monday. But we do have small red empress available, so check those out. We just listed some Lethrinops red caps. Again, sorry about the tank. It's a little bit dirty because of the natural light in here, but I think there's a few pairs and a few unsexed fish up for sale right now. They're a little bit skittish, but you can see the males are starting to color up. That's another gorgeous fish. Got Pygmy Corys from Colombia. These guys are very cheap, very small, very active schooling fish that I cannot recommend enough. Just look how they move together. Look at that. You got a 10 gallon, throw 10 of them in there, boom, done. You got a 30 gallon, put 30 or 40 of them in there and they'll be happy. Here's some bigger Corys. These are the spotted Corys. Corydoris agassizi. Albino blue dolphins are just like regular blue dolphins, except they're like whitish pink. But I haven't personally scooped them up recently because they're over in one of our breeding vats. Here's a pike cichlid we got from Colombia. I'm not exactly sure what species he is, but if anyone wants him, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to work out a price for him. He's about 7 inches long right now. That teardrop on him looks really cool. Corys in the discus tank. Stir-by Corys do really well in discus tank. We're hopefully getting some more stir-by in next week or the week after. I'm not 100% sure, but we're aiming for that. Agassizi Corys should do fine in the discus tank too. Triliniatus cories should be okay in a discus tank as well. I don't see any problems with those guys. I saw one other question here. Wendy, we have more Nanochromis. Shoot me an email to remind me. They're just really small, so we're only selling the obvious pairs as we see them. But since we've sold some, we should have some more that are starting to color up. I think we have like 6 or 7 different types of Gelidochromis in right now, which are these small little Tanganyikan fish. These were one of my first Tanganyikans that I ever kept. Their torpedo shape is just so neat, and they tend to hug the walls and the glass like this guy here. There's no rocks in his tank, so he's up on the wall, but if there were rocks, he'd be lying right under one. We don't currently ship overseas unless you count Hawaii and Puerto Rico. Just because it's mostly too expensive and not cost effective for either party, unfortunately. These guys are Talmadochromis Vittatus, another shell dweller from Tanganyika. We've actually got a small colony over in Mike's room breeding right now. They had about 30 fry last week, so that's exciting and encouraging. But these guys are really neat. You give them a couple flower pots and caves and they'll make themselves right at home. And they don't get that big either. Another Gelidochromis type, the Marlieri. And some gold-faced Compressiceps in the background as well. No, I can do a quick showing of the rainbow fish. I was just going to focus mostly on some of these new Tanganyikans, but we can head over there after this. These are Redfin Kanapunktatus. I've got some breeders at the end of the row I'll show instead once we get there. But I do want to stop on this guy right here. Those were Chitika Gold Compressiceps. And this stud is Alana Cara Restratum, a very rare species of peacock. And you can see she's holding back there. She's probably about to pop right now. And we do have 2 or 3 clutches of fry growing up of these guys. And I think we have 1 or 2 males for sale as well. So please, if you haven't checked this guy out, seriously consider it. Their really long faces make them very special in the peacock world. And you can see just how colorful they get when they're really in breeding dress. If you were talking about these black and white ones, these are Gelidochromis Marlieri. So, some of you might have noticed we did receive some German red peacock males last week. And they came in looking very, very nice. They don't have a common name, Chemo. Gelidochromis is the genus, Marlieri is the species. With a little practice, you'll be slinging them as quickly as I am. But if you go to our Tanganyikan section, you should find them. They'll just be at the top alphabetically because of the parentheses before their name. But yeah, these are some German red peacocks. You see how nice they are. They do have a blue body that you can see kind of hidden beneath the red, so don't be alarmed when you receive it and it's just a blue fish. That's how they work. This guy's already sold, unfortunately, but just to hype you guys up, we have some of these growing up as fry right now. These are the Lethrinops Gold from Harbor Island. My camera won't focus again, but there you go. I think he's got 3 or 4 females in there holding, so he's doing a good job. Here's some more of those Redfin Kanapunktatus I showed a few minutes ago. This is an adult male, and that's about as big as he gets. He's about 3 inches long if you hold your finger up. They're small shell dwellers. They'll use caves as well. Very easy to maintain as a group. They're not super aggressive and they don't get big. These are Redfin Kanapunktatus. They get their name from the spotted tails. Alright, let's do a quick walk over to the rainbow aisle. What do we start with? How about some albino millenniums? These males are probably about 3 inches long right now. Female is just a little smaller. But you can see they're fully colored, ready to go. Always a nice fish. We've got some Pseudomugil gertrudae. Little blue eyes, which are cousins of the rainbow fish. It's hard to capture on film really how pretty they are. But if you do a quick Google search for gertrudae rainbow, you'll see how stunning they can be. Small fish. This is about as big as they get, maybe another ½ inch on them. Really nice for small community tanks. Here's one of my favorites, the blackfin rainbow fish from Upper Catherine River. Red stripes on the body, jet black fins, really nice shape. And even the females have quite a bit of black on their fins too, which is always good. We've only got a few of these left. These are the Alana rainbows from Wapoga. We are hoping to get some more of them in a week or two. Don't know for sure yet, but for now what we've gotten here is what we've got. There's about 13 fish and I think 6 of them are sold. These guys don't look super impressive right now because they're over the white sand, but these are called blue hole rainbows, and there are some really nice photos of them that Gary Lang took if you check out the Rainbow Fish Live group on Facebook. Very rare rainbow fish, not really seen in the hobby, and I can tell you the white sand that they're over doesn't do them any justice right now. Another new rainbow fish we got are the Ceres Creek Ornatus rainbows. It's hard to get close to them because they're still only about an inch. Wendy, unfortunately we're not doing any tours or anything right now with COVID still being a pretty big problem. We're not going to take any risks, but hopefully before too long. Here's some Madagascar rainbows. Technically, again, not a rainbow fish species, but you can see why they're lumped into the same grouping. That's a male right there with the nice red fins. Yeah, Mike, I can head back to the sips in a second. Nice male there. Most of these are males. There's a female. So if you buy a 6-pack of these, odds are you'll get a decent grouping of males. I know that'll make a lot of you happy. Alright, we got some small rainbow cichlids here. Very cute little guys. They got a ways to go. We got some new Scatulus in. This is a fish we collected in Uruguay and brought back to breed here on the farm. And we're happy that they're doing really well. They're called the red-breasted Chanchito because of that nice red spot right at the base of their pectoral fins. You can kind of see it on him. But they look really nice when they're in a well-established tank. got really small electric blue Cara back in stock. They seem to be happy. Here's some bigger rainbow cichlids. These are probably going to go back out in a pond to reproduce for the spring. And they get maybe another 2 inches on them, but they're not a very big fish, so that's always a good choice for a 40 or a 55-gallon tank. The last rainbow fish I'll show today, just the regular Bozeman eyes. There's only a few males in that group. These are Gymnogeophagus rhabdotus. And they are very impressive. Here's a quick shot of jewel cichlids from Moana. We've been breeding these ourselves as well, and you can see there, nice male coloring up. Another one there. They're very peaceful jewel. They're not as aggressive as a lot of the other Hemichromis can be. So they're great for small tanks, like a 29-gallon. You should be able to keep a pair comfortably with some Tetras. But that's a gorgeous looking fish right there. Alright, I think someone wanted to take a look at those Ciprochromis, so we'll go back over there real quick. Brief pit stop on the white top Haras. They're starting to color up. I don't see any holding yet, but they're still a little young. Alright, here are those blue neon sips from Karingi. I think these are F1. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what the breeder said. You can see they're not very big. They won't get their color for another inch or so, but Ciprochromis are nice because they're very peaceful cichlids from Tanganyika. They usually hang out in the upper water column so they don't bother all the shell dwellers. And they're open water spawners, meaning you'll probably get fry from them without having to dedicate any sand or caves or anything. So highly recommend those if you have a Tanganyikan tank that you're looking for just a little bit more life in. These are Geophagus species Caqueta from the Caqueta River. And oh my goodness, he's colored up. He looks amazing. What sets them apart from other Geophagus like Altifrons, for example, is that their stripes are very jagged and not straight. They're not organized. They're kind of all over the place like a tiger. These are growing quickly. We got them in about 4 months ago at 2 inches, and they're already 4.5, 5 inches, some of them. Here's some more Pygmy Corys. Brief shot of some wild rams. They're still a little skittish. They're used to being in the wild under leaf litter, so they don't really like the openness of an aquarium. But the ones Mikey has over in his breeding room are very personable at this point. So it just takes some time to get used to. And lastly, before I finish up, we've got some checkerboard cichlids here. I think there's 6 or 7 left in the tank, along with a L191 pleco hiding in the back there. These little dwarf cichlids are a bit too small to sex right now, but the males get really nice long trailing fins and lots of color on their bodies as well. So yeah, that's it, everyone. Just wanted to do a quick walkthrough with y'all. If you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Otherwise, I'm out.